I went to go see Alien Romulus. I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, as long as you don't compare it with the other Alien movies, particularly the first two, I would say that it's an okay but quite flawed sci-fi movie. But if you compare it to like Alien from like 1970, whatever, 1979 was it? And then Aliens, that was James Cameron's movie. That was 80 something. I can't remember the years. But I mean, those are light years better than Alien Romulus. So like the fact that Alien Romulus is being marketed as like a return to form is just like, to me, a joke. Like it doesn't come close to the original two in terms of quality and the filmmaking sophistication. Like Alien Romulus, I think, is better than Covenant and Prometheus, but it still falls way short of the original two. And on its own, I feel like it's just an okay-ish sci-fi movie. If you can forgive like the dumb shit, like they reincorporate John Hurt. Not John Hurt. Who the fuck am I thinking? Ian Holm. He was the robot in the first Alien. He was also Bilbo Baggins in Loader of the Rings. They reintroduce him here. He's like a broken old android, but he's not like the same android from the first movie. He's like a different android that looks the same. And it's just like, why would you, if you're going to make an array of synthetics that with different faces, why would you make a bunch that all have the same face? Like, it just seemed like a cheap way to bring Ian Holm back as like a member berries thing, where it's just like, remember this guy? Remember from the first movie? Ian Holm, look. But it's not even him because the actor is dead. And so they recreate him with VFX, and it looks so bad. Like, it looks so bad that when I saw it, I was just like, is it supposed to look bad? And I thought, no, wait. If it was deliberately meant to look bad because it's an android, then you would make it look bad in terms of prosthetics, not VFX. Because the VFX is sort of a non-diegetic layer. So I was thinking about it for a second. And I was just like, this is just bad CGI. And it's just like, why? I mean, Ridley Scott's behind this. There's a lot of money behind this. Why would they make this look bad? Why? Surely they could have made it look better than that. It's like the mouth is moving, but the eyes aren't doing anything. And even the mouth alone is just moving kind of awkwardly. And it's just like, I mean, if you want to hear me talk about this more extensively, I did a Metals Forge episode with Metal Commander and Mark the Cyborg and a few other people as well. We were all talking about the movie, and I talk about the movie in detail there. We do a whole breakdown of it. But the movie didn't stand out to me as awful at first, but then I had that discussion, and then there's a bunch of things that went over my head initially that I later was just like, oh yeah, that's stupid. Like, why the fuck? Why the fuck did they do that? Why the fuck didn't they do that? Whatever makes more sense. And they do like stupid member berry shit. Like, it's not even well executed. Like, near the end of Alien Romulus, they have this like blue sort of light thing that gets cast across the ground. It's just meant to look like a cool effect, I guess. But then I remembered, like, in the first Alien, that was there, but it was on the alien ship. So when the crew gets off their ship and gets onto, I don't know if it's a ship or like, I can't remember if it's just like a building and a structure and a planet that they're on. It's probably that, actually. They stumble across the room full of eggs, and that's when John Hurt finds the first facehugger. It has that blue light thing, and that's in the alien structure. But in Romulus, they have the same thing on the human ship. And it's just like, you're not even doing this right. This is the wrong place to have that. If you want to do this member berries thing, You got to put this in an alien environment, not the human ship. What the fuck are you putting it here for? So it was just like, did you even watch the movies? Like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's a shame because, like, I know the director, Fede Alvarez, I think. He's the guy who did, like, the Evil Dead remake, and he did Don't Breathe. And I thought he did a good job with both of those, like, really good. The Evil Dead remake surprised me with how good it is. Because what the Evil Dead remake does is it juxtaposes all the gory, creepy, demony Necronomicon stuff with a girl detoxing from a heroin addiction. And so, like, while she's detoxing, that's typically associated with hallucinations. But then there's actually all this Necronomicon shit happening. And so there's that. Plus, it's just a cool metaphor for facing your fears and conquering her addiction. Or if anybody is struggling with, like, drug abuse or anything like that, it's just a cool, relatable metaphor. Like these overcoming your own monsters sort of thing, monsters of your own making. Because the Necronomicon demons are let out by them, because that's like the way it works in Evil Dead, right? You read the text from the Necronomicon and you let all the demons out. I thought it was very smartly done. And so I had a lot of faith in this director. And I saw the trailer for Alien Romulus, and it's just like, okay, it looks like they're really leaning into the gory, slimy stuff. But I'm okay with that. Like, I don't need this to be Alien or Aliens. Like, this can just be within the Alien universe, kind of its own thing, and just dedicated to being like a creature feature. Like, that's fine. I don't even need it to be sophisticated that much. It's just, if you just give me a competently done, like, creepy, slimy, gory horror movie, that I'm totally cool with that. I don't care if it's within the Alien franchise. That would have been fine if it did that, but it's just there's so many aspects of it that are just not competently considered. Like, there's an absolute, like, facepalm cringe moment in Romulus where they make the robot character in it say, "Get away from her, you bitch." Obviously from the end of the second one. And it just does not fit at all. And it's so awkward. And it's just like, oh my god, like, why did this director is smarter than this? Why would he include this? This sucks. And the movie almost lost me after that. But then it did something interesting at the end with, like, this. I don't want to. Maybe I shouldn't go into spoilers, but it does this cool thing at the end. Well, I mean, the cool factor doesn't last long. Initially, it was interesting. I was just like, "Ooh, that's new and creepy. Like, what is this? What are we doing here?" But then it quickly just devolved into basically a video game boss fight, and it's just like, I don't care anymore. This is dumb. Just very, just shallow, unmemorable, and just baffling moments of it that are just ill considered. And it's just like, why would you do it that way? That's so stupid. And some of the scenes are just not well written, like characters not noticing things in a particular room that are, like, glaringly obvious. And it's just like, why did none of the characters notice that before? That happens a few times. Ridley Scott is a failure of a director in his elder years. Napoleon was a colossal disappointment. So much potential and all squandered on a cringe romance drama. Napoleon actually didn't bother me that much. I thought it was pretty cool. It's just, but I know nothing about Napoleon historically. And that seems to be the biggest gripe people have with it. It's just like, this is just Napoleon fan fiction. Like, you're just completely going in your own direction with this. Like, this is not historically accurate at all. And I feel like if you're going to do a movie like Napoleon, you should try to be historically accurate. Otherwise, why not just make up a character? Just make up a new character. Don't call it Napoleon. Like, if you want to do your own thing. But just speaking on the merits of the movie itself, I thought the movie was all right. Don't you know Rain is the bird in the cage? Yeah, and Romulus. Yeah, that was stupid. The reason it's stupid is because if it's that far in the future, like, because the year is 20, I can't remember, it's like 100 years from now. Like, you wouldn't have birds in cages at that point. You'd have technology that can measure the chemicals in the air or whatever. You don't need an actual bird in the cage in an era like that to measure whether or not an environment is toxic. So the fact that they had that in there was obviously just wedged in there for symbolic reasons. And if the time were appropriate for a prop like that, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But because it's in the future, it just makes no sense for that to be there, so it's stupid.